Buddy, it's Ben back again, and this time in the second half of a back-to-back, the Habs beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 3-1 after beating the New York Islanders 3-2 the night before. And this was really a fun game to watch. You can tell after the last couple playoff series they've had in the last few years, there's definitely a bit of a budding rivalry between the two teams, and we didn't really get to see that continue last year just because the Habs sucked last year and didn't get to make it to the playoffs. But you can tell if the way things are going this year, two teams are probably going to meet in the playoffs this spring if all stays the same and all goes well as it is right now. It looks like that's going to be the future. It was a pretty fun game to watch last night. Getting kind of tired of saying this, but nothing really happened in the first for either team. There's no goals, and the Habs did outshoot the Lightning 9-4 in that period, but that was kind of the only period. It's weird. It's just been most of the games this season. The Habs haven't scored any in the first, but they also haven't allowed any in the first. I don't know if that's good or bad, or if it's just kind of something that happens. But going into the second, early on, things start to get a bit chippier, and there's a bit of a scrum, and then after Cedric Paquette gives Carey Price pokes after the whistle, and then Nathan Beaulieu and him get mixed up a little bit, and Beaulieu absolutely just feeds him a few nice punches and just takes him out in like seconds. It wasn't much of a fight. That was nice to watch, and as Beaulieu's skating off, he gives Price a little wink. And it was just nice to see he's responding well to when he got demoted a couple games ago. He's trying to prove himself again, and I think he's starting to. Then late in the second, though, Alexander Killorn ends up getting a go-ahead goal on the Habs with a tip-in. And that's pretty much it for the second, although you can tell the Lightning are kind of starting to take over the game a bit. Price had to make some big saves, but it's mostly due to the fact that the Habs are just tired from the night before. They had flown back in from Brooklyn, and I think it just came down to fatigue. And then you see that more in the third. Although, on a third-period power play, Galchenyuk gets one of his what's become one of his patented one-timers on his offside, off a beautiful pass from Markov, who seems to always know where Galchenyuk is on the power play. Gets a beautiful one-timer, and he snipes it while he's turning away from the puck, which is like just about nearly impossible. I don't know how he managed to get an accurate shot off, but anyway, it ties up the game 1-1. And then not long after, Max Pacioretty, who's on that new line with Shaw and Desharnais, which seems to be gelling fairly well. Shaw does a whole lot of work keeping the puck down in the Lightning zone, gets it up to Patterson, and they kind of give like a little give and go with Patch, and Patch snipes it, 2-1 Habs. And that's the way it stays for the rest of the game until about a minute and a half left. The Lightning pull their goalie, and Torrey Mitchell, who I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure is leading the Habs in goals with 4. Gets an empty netter to end the game, which I like to see just because the fourth line this year has been fantastic, and it's good to see any of those guys get rewarded with the way they've been playing. So that's the game. The Lightning end up outshooting the Habs 31-26, and Price had to look pretty spectacular on some plays, which he did. He seems to be the Price that we've seen. The only goal that went in was a tip, and I mean, it's a tip in. He often don't really have much of a chance on those. So he looked fantastic. He got first star of the game, actually, so that was good to see. It was nice to kind of see Pacioretty gel with somebody else a bit because the first line was, I mean, they were doing all right, but they were kind of slow. But one thing I'm excited for tonight's game against Toronto is they moved Radulov up to the first line with Gallagher and Galchenyuk, which I think could be just kind of insane offensively, just because I feel like there's some chemistry there with Galchenyuk and Radulov, and Gallagher works well with any people you put him with. He's just a spark plug that'll get anybody going. So should be interesting to watch tonight, and against a Leafs team that is arguably probably should have won more games than they have. They've blown some leads, and specifically that Winnipeg game, they've blown some leads where they easily should have had the game, but then they ended up not getting it. And it'd be interesting to see if the Habs can continue their streak against a team that I'm sure is just gonna desperately want to beat them, just to kind of prove that they're here now and they're here to play. but should be interesting to watch. I'm excited for tonight's game. Anyway, see you guys next time.